One of the things that we can actually do with Salesforce.com is to package up an application. What this means is we can essentially take the different components that we have here available to us, so the different objects and their tabs. So this is a tab, the underlying data itself is stored in an object. We can take all of that, the metadata that has been customized for Arts New South Wales, and put that into a package, and then we can share that with different departments. So that is done by going to, as administrator of the system, you can go to your name and then go into setup. Now from setup, what you can do is create a package. There are two different types of package that are actually available within Salesforce. There's a unmanaged package. So as you can see, I'm in the help and training section here of Salesforce, and I can read that an unmanaged package is typically an open source project or an application template that will essentially provide developers with the basic building blocks for an application. So what that means is that I can take the foundations of an application and I can tweak it and build upon it to kind of cater to my immediate requirements. So that's one option. The other option is actually to build out a managed package. So a managed package is a more structured application. What it allows you to do is actually to build out things like the IP for an application. So product partners would typically build out a managed package that they can then license and sell to customers. The kind of benefits of this is that it keeps in line with Salesforce upgrades, so there won't be any destructive changes to the application. There's remote support, there's batch upgrades, there's various different things. So it's definitely an option should we choose to roll out the grants management application across the wider organisation. However, in this situation, I think what we're going to do is just for simplicity build an unmanaged package. So if I go to back to Salesforce, click on the new button, and package name will be grants management. I don't need to worry about any of those details. I'm just going to put grants management application. Should I have wanted to make a managed application, I would have ticked that. What I will do is just save that. The benefit of an unmanaged application is that we can build all of the functionality and then actually further make it a managed application in the future. But for the time being, we'll just stick with this. So we go to, firstly it brings up the components section, so now we can actually start to add in metadata components. So if I click on the add button here, I can choose, there's different component types in here, so there's obviously Apex classes, which are a kind of programming language native to Salesforce.com. There's the app itself, which is this thing up here, the grant management app, grouping of tabs and objects. There's lots of different types of metadata within the app, within Salesforce.com. Not going to go through all of those. What I am going to do is just actually add the grant management custom app into my package. So if I click on add to package, now hopefully what that should do is add all of the dependencies. So this app is made up of all of these different tabs, and then all of those tabs relate to an object. All of those tabs have different list views, all of the objects have fields. So by choosing the highest level component, which is the app, then all of the dependent component types should have been added into my package. So I can kind of scroll through there and I can see that, well, broadly speaking, I've got the funds, applications, panel scoring, grants, disbursements and acquittals. So that's 6 custom objects up there. They should all have been added into my application down here. So with all of the different component types added into the package, what we can then do is go back to the top of the screen. We can check that nothing has been missed. So if you go to the view dependencies, that loads up and that says there's a couple of things that we maybe have missed from here. There's a record type in one of the objects. However, that record type wouldn't be relevant for any package because it is specific to Arts New South Wales, so we can ignore that. Likewise, there is actually a custom button, I think, down here, which is what that refers to. So yes, custom button. Again, not particularly relevant to a kind of more generic application, so we'll leave those two things. Go back to the package itself, and then what we will then do is create a version of this package. So to create a version, what we do is we click on the upload button. So now this is loading up, and here we go. So it's going to ask us to put in the version name. So we'll put in, let's put in Winter 2011. The version number can be 1, and we'll put in a grants management application what we'll actually put in is Winter 2011 Beta, because this is a first test, so we'll put in Beta version. If we want to, we can put a password on this. I am not going to put a password for the time being. And what we can also do is, if there's any kind of standard Salesforce objects that should figure into this application and should be turned on within Salesforce, we can ask that they are before the package is installed. So, for example, we have been using the customer portal. However, I wouldn't say the customer portal was a necessity to be able to install this package, so we're not going to do that. Likewise, we've been using Chatter, but again, I wouldn't say that Chatter is a necessity, so I don't think that any of this is actually required before we actually install the package. So what we will do is scroll down to the next section. So what we can see in this next section is the actual object requirements that are needed prior to the install of the package. So the first column is any record type. So across these different objects in the system, do we have any requirements to have record types enabled? Well, no, we don't. Likewise, sharing. Do we need to have sharing settings specified for any of these objects? Again, no, we don't. Field history tracking could be useful for some of the objects, but again, I'm not going to make it a necessity. Likewise, the chatter feed tracking. So now that those sections have been completed, I am going to click on the upload button. So it's just running through some analysis, making sure that we can successfully kind of pull together this package and all the different components that we've asked for. So here we go, it's creating a snapshot. And hopefully within a couple of seconds it should have actually created a package. There we go. So your package is now available for install using the installation URL below. So by clicking on this installation URL, what that will do is that will open up a new page with the package installation details. So the purpose of this really is that internally within an organisation or within a kind of government department, you can actually privately share this package between different Salesforce instances. So with the App Exchange, that actually allows this package to be referenceable to the wider public. So anybody essentially can go onto the App Exchange, can type in grants management application, could potentially come up with this if it was published, and would be able to install it within their own Salesforce environment. So that brings us to the end of the demonstration. Hopefully that showed how easy and quick it is to actually build out your own application, package that and share it between different Salesforce instances.